And now, the best 60-ish seconds of your week.
And of course, this week was the great one and perhaps only debate of the 2024 presidential election cycle. And look, a lot of people wanted Donald Trump to deliver the knockout blow to Kamala Harris, such as he did to Joe Biden back at the end of June. That really wasn't very likely to happen. And so people scramble around the days after saying who won and who lost. Well, this much I can say. The big losers in that debate were the folks from ABC television, who had their thumb on the scale throughout the entire debate. It really was embarrassing for ABC News to watch what that happened. They weren't embarrassed, but they should have been. But once we got down to business, the final analysis is this. Kamala Harris simply didn't answer any question that was put to her. Now, could Donald Trump have pivoted better and gone after her for her failures to communicate with the American people why she had changed her position on so many issues, whether or not we were better off today than we were 4 years ago, and whether or not she would support abortions in the 8th and 9th month of pregnancy? Another question she refused to answer. And the answer is, of course, he could have. But let me just say this. Monday morning quarterbacking is the most unctuous sport in America. As Leo DeRocher once said, would I like to have the guy that could hit 325, drive in 125 runs, maybe steal 50 or 60 bases, win the Golden Glove? He said, I sure would. And if he'd come down out of the fifth row of the bleachers and play, it would be great. So it's a lot tougher on the field of play. And bluntly, one of the things that some of my friends in the Republican Party wanted Donald Trump to do, he did. And as a result, he had a little more difficulty going after her and trying to pin her down, which incidentally is like trying to pin down Jell-O. That was that he didn't take the bait, as people suggested he did. He didn't get angry. He didn't call her names. He didn't go after her personally, which were all the things that he had been counseled not to do prior to the debate. And so there was a little bit of ringing in my ears going back 40 years ago to the folks in my camp that said, let Reagan be Reagan. If folks had let Trump be Trump, we might have seen a little bit different type and flavor of debate the other night. But as it all turned out, it was good, because the most compelling moment of that debate was when Donald Trump, in his closing statement, said, Ms. Harris has been here for 3.5 years. Why hasn't she done any of the things that she says she's going to do? Where has she been for the last 3.5 years? And why has she changed virtually every position that she's taken in this campaign? And of course, she wasn't going to provide an answer to that question, nor was her team. They don't want to even talk about it. But Bernie Sanders, who you can always count on to give you the unvarnished truth, did tell us the day before the debate, he told a national audience that yes, Kamala Harris is still an unrepentant, progressive, left-wing Democrat. Incidentally, the most liberal senator in the United States Senate when she was there, eclipsing even Bernie himself and Elizabeth Warren and some of the others that it takes a long, long road to get to the left of. Yes, he said she's still that progressive Democrat, but she's saying what she has to say in order to get elected president, which is what I think most of the American people know. They know that they're not getting the straight stuff from her. They know that they're getting a lot of, as my Jewish friends would say, chazarai, as my American friends would say, BS, but it simply isn't working. The post-debate polls still show Donald Trump in very good shape, and as the campaign now progresses, people are going to increasingly ask, who is Kamala Harris really, and where does she really stand? And when those questions get answered, the wheels, I believe, fall off of her political bus. And as you know from my little clip last week, I was in Brazil watching the Philadelphia Eagles slip and slide across the soccer field to victory over the Green Bay Packers in Sao Paulo, Brazil last Friday night, the first game ever played on South American soil. And I got to tell you, the Brazilians love American football. I really wondered because it's such a heavy soccer culture, but they love American football. And the next day, I was blessed to go with my friend Jair Bolsonaro, the former president of Brazil, to a rally that he held. Now, in America, we think political rally, you get 25 or 30,000 people, it's huge. Well, they get 450, 500,000 people out. It was Independence Day in Brazil, September 7th, but this gigantic rally, all principally focused on impeaching Alexandre de Moraes, this crazy jurist down there that has tried to shut down Bolsonaro and now is trying to shut down Elon Musk. It's the same thing they're doing around the world, which is trying to cripple free speech. And you have to ask ourselves, or we have to ask ourselves, why does the left want to suppress free speech? And I think we all know the answer. But I can tell you this, Alexandre de Moraes picked on the wrong guy when he took on Elon Musk, and he picked on the wrong guy when he took on Jair Bolsonaro. There is hope in Latin America for freedom to once again be restored to the giant of South America. And it was very interesting to see across the sea of yellow shirts, you know, they all wear those Brazilian soccer jerseys, but across this sea of yellow were two very defining things beyond that. One were Israeli and American flags, including a giant staff up the middle of the crowd with the Brazilian flag, the flag of the United States of America, and the flag of Israel, all prominently displayed because they see those nations as hope in the world. And an awful lot of the people in the crowd, in addition to wearing giant X for Elon Musk's platform shirts, wore MAGA hats. And we all know what that means. But I think it's so significant that 5,000 miles away, people look to America to see us be the leader of the world. And they know that Donald Trump will do that. He will lead the fight for freedom. And it's visceral for those folks there. I had so many people ask me, is Donald Trump going to win? Is Donald Trump going to win? People that were not at that rally, at the hotel, wanted to know, is Donald Trump going to win? They had no time whatsoever for Kamala Harris and the left. They see hope and vision and strength in the future with Trump as president in the United States. Let us all think about that for just a moment. And finally, we always try to take a moment to reflect on the lives of those who left us this week. And we lost a giant in James Earl Jones, an EGOT, E-G-O-T winner. That's an Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, and Tony award-winning actor. An iconic figure not only in the movie industry, but in our culture as a whole. A truly great man. He went to the University of Michigan, a pretty highly regarded institution of higher learning, as a pre-med student, but switched over to drama, and we all know the result of that. A very devout Catholic Christian, he said that his favorite thing was reading the Bible and reading it as a narrative for others to enjoy. But from Darth Vader to Field of Dreams to his role as Jack Ryan, or with Jack Ryan and all those great Tom Clancy films, we loved James Earl Jones. And may he rest in peace. Because for now, before we get to a little clip you'll enjoy, that is the best 60-ish seconds of your week.
John chapter 1. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. The same was in the beginning with God. All things were made by him, and without him was not anything made that was made. In him was life, and the life was the light of men. And the light shineth in darkness, and the darkness comprehended it not. There was a man sent from God, whose name was John. The same came for a witness to bear witness of the light, that all men through him might believe. He was not that light, but was sent to bear witness of that light. That was the true light, which lighteth every man that cometh into the world.